I want to throw in real quick that we actually had to hire an attorney because we've got a record company that has illegally released two of our records from Hogan's Heroes.
Oh shit.
And yeah. Cleopatra Records from Los Angeles basically has re-released Built to Last and the self-titled record without contacting us. And I bought the rights back from Nicky Garrett, who owned New Red Archives. I bought the rights back in the 90s. So I have the master tapes, the artwork. It's all documented. And I was really blessed to get introduced to an amazing attorney out of New York. His name is George Grasso. He takes care of all the New York City bands. He does. He takes care of all the legalities for Thompson Square Park, where there's a lot of free shows. And I really want to send him a shout out because he's the guy who is taking care of a lot of the bands like us where, these record companies think, oh, they're older now, they probably don't care. And we do care. And the fact that they even changed the look of the cover and the artwork is really disheartening. So anybody who's watching, and as a matter of fact, I have them right here. This was our first record, as most people know, came out on New Red Archives. This record label, Cleopatra, came out and released this, changing it to pink lettering, and it's the original photograph, so it's all milky. They stretched out photographs of us, they took away, the credits here of who engineered us, and it's really, really a bummer. And this was our second record. The hardcore back and the colorful front, and their version of the record.
So have you had any contact with them subsequently? Like to be like, aside from like attorneys, did you ever speak with them and be like, yo, this is fucked up?
No, I didn't reach out, and I'm going to tell you why. Because when I bought the rights back from Nicky was no longer going to do New Red Archives anymore, and we had a telephone conversation, and I said, I'd really like to buy everything back from you if that's possible. We agreed on a number, and I bought everything back to protect the band, and then. It was prior to going to Puerto Rico, I had seen an ad, Built to Last, limited on pink vinyl from this company, Cleopatra. And I knew exactly what was going to happen. I mean, if I would have picked up the phone and I would have introduced myself and, would have said, hey, listen, what's going on? The first thing that they would have did is they would have said, oh, we had no idea. We didn't, when we bought the rights to New Red Archives, we thought that was part of it. They would have done a song and dance. They would have said, oh, we'll send you $1.50 a copy, even though this is all hearsay. And, we'll send you any product back. The thing is, these records are selling for fucking $20, and, the first limited to 500 and the second one's limited to 400. So, if these guys are clearing $20 a pop on these records, I didn't even want to deal with it. I didn't want to be insulted. And the fact that they desecrated all the hard work that we had done, I made my phone calls to my friends up in New York who play in bands, and they all pointed at this attorney, Mr. Grotto, and that was really the only way to approach this, which was basically a formal cease and desist, And unfortunately, they're playing hardball. So it's going to go further than that. I'm hoping that it doesn't go to a federal court. But if it does, I might have to actually do a GoFundMe to try to battle these guys, because what they're doing is wrong. And it's the
Yeah.
same old story. We're not the only band that has gone through this. And we're actually doing this to protect future bands also. It's not okay to go out and start releasing stuff that you don't own.
Yeah. And Ramon here says, just Google that label. They have a bad reputation.
Yeah. And that plays to our
Releasing
advantage,
people's
And
shit. That's
I'm sorry.
crazy, man. Oh, I said
Yeah.
releasing people's shit. Yeah, they have a bad reputation, definitely.
And you know what the funny thing is? It's been such a compliment to get a phone call, right? To say, hey, we always loved your band. We'd like to like reissue, some limited edition, and maybe we could remaster the tapes and work with you on getting the artwork updated. You know what? We probably would have come to some great agreement. But the
Yeah.
fact that a phone call wasn't made, it's just it's sad. So you might be seeing me doing some kind of like a GoFundMe, because it's not going to be
Shit.
cheap to kind of battle a record label like Cleopatra, but it needs to be done. They need to be made an example of.
Hmm. And like I mean, like you said, I think most hardcore bands would have been receptive to something like that. Like if you would just approach them and be like, "We really like this record. We want to reissue it. Let's work something out." Da da da. I can't think of
Yeah,
a single hardcore band that would be, unless they had, if it was being released on another label and they still, own the rights and whatnot. I can't think of any like hardcore band that would not at least be receptive to that.
yeah, yeah, and that's exactly what I was just explaining. It's like, a simple phone call of interest, and all of this could have been avoided. But I don't know if when I was holding this up, if you were able to really see this, but
Yeah.
you, you know, this is what they put out to replace this. And if this was like a live bootleg from CB's or something like that, it would be one
Yeah.
thing. But to completely abstract what we did, it was basically a spit in our face, and I'm
Yeah.
willing to take on the challenge. It's going to cost a couple of bucks to do.
I'll be sure to donate, man. And if you ever like share like a PayPal link or GoFundMe or anything like that, I'll be sure to put it out there because that's bullshit, man. Like that's
Thank
just next level
you. Yeah,
fucking
I
fuckery right there.
yeah, and it's just unacceptable. And yeah, I appreciate that, Jay, and I'm going to take you up on that.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, and in some way, I hope it does go public that way, because like if you go to our Facebook page, OS 101 has a Facebook page. I have um, fanzines and contracts that we had signed when we were kids. And the reason why I did that was so anybody who was interested could read, and look at our contracts, and we're kind of like we took our page to a level of education, where if you have an interest in us, that's awesome. But it's also showing you the original negotiated contract that we had with New Red Archives. Um, and it's all out there. And the funny thing is I think they claim that they tried to contact me in some way. Well, if you Google me, you know I'm all over the place. So I'm sure they could have gotten a hold of me to re-release the stuff properly.
Yeah. And that's no like excuse either that they didn't get in touch with you because it's like, you know, they still went around and did some shady shit, It's like
Yeah.
if you don't have the blessing, don't go ahead and proceed with it. I'd be curious to see what their legal defense would say. Like, what sort of rationalization they would be able to be like, well, we released these records because, X and Y or whatever. But it doesn't sound like they have much of a case.
No, they really don't. I mean, they did they did have their rebuttal letter, but it was really it was really simple minded. I'd like to say everything, which I mean, I don't know what level I could talk about it. So, but it was really just like wow, trying to get out of something that they just really fucked up on.
Bunch of LA fucking duplicitous fucking scam artist motherfuckers. That sucks, man. I'm that yeah, like you said, your hard work is desecrated. They didn't put all this effort into the album. You guys laid all the groundwork, and they just said, "We're gonna take it." What a bunch of fucking
Yeah,
assholes, I
and
swear.
yeah, and that's exactly how I feel inside. And to have your I did most of the art on these. I mean, I was a young artist at the time, and I did the layout and the designs for these. So to get these in the mail, and I purchased these, I put them on my credit card, and I have it under my name, I have it under my business name. It's almost like me saying, here I am, I'm actually purchasing these records. And when I got them, it was just like, wow, like that's blasphemy. It's like, I mean, I can't compare what we did to say like Agnostic Front's Victim in Pain, but can you imagine like somebody coming in from left field and like releasing Victim in Pain with like a floral front cover or something like that? And it would, you would just be beside yourself over the whole thing. And that's exactly how we all feel about this. It's just like, you know it's just a company that I have a huge problem with right now. And anybody out there, please do not go and buy these limited edition records, because they were not authorized by any of us in the band. And if there is a GoFundMe page and you guys do help us out, we'll be sure and repay you guys by doing a show or whatever we could do with any of your help, if it should go to court.
Yeah. Well, like I said, I really hope it does, just based on principle. Like you said, that's eh, you just fucking scumbags, like. And I'll be sure to clip this video too, so we can share it and kind of bring to light like what this fucking skeezy company is doing. Cleopatra Records, we're coming for you, you motherfuckers. So fuck all that
Yeah,
shit. Like, what a
yeah,
bunch of scumbags. Yeah, I'll be sure to make like a clip of this so it can make its way around, and people can
yeah. Appreciate
understand
it.
the fucked up shit that they're doing. Well,
Yeah,
man, I don't want to end on a bad note, because that that uh that's a really harrowing situation to be in
yeah,
legal
yeah.
troubles over intellectual property that these scumbags had no right to.